shit, come and speak your truth.
Cozy on the mic, line, your chakras in the chair. Been going through a lot, speak on it. Yeah, been going through a lot, you can speak on it here. Been going through a lot, let's speak on it here. Let's talk, speak on it, let's talk, speak on it, let's talk, speak on it, let's talk. Let's talk, speak on it, let's talk, speak on it, let's talk. Let's talk, speak on it.
You got a voice, it was meant to be spoken. What you said is what it took to keep going. Never know them jewels got can be golden.
We need safe spaces in our broadcast, places where we can cry and to make us laugh, where we can speak our mind and let trauma free, where you can be you and I can be me. If you can't run and make it happen, just walk. If you need to speak your mind, baby, let's talk.
Welcome to Let's Talk, Speak on It, Changing the Narrative. I'm your host, Sammika Cosey. I first want to thank you all for tuning in and joining us for our very first episode. We have an amazing episode prepared for you. We are going to dive into a topic that is close to my heart, the Cosey Project. We will discuss what the Cosey Project does, why we started, and the importance of changing the narrative. We also have a very special guest with us today. The Vice President of the Cosey Project, Kejuan Rucker, is here with us today. So let's talk, speak on it. Thank you so much, Kejuan, for coming today and joining us. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me today. It's really an honor to be sitting here with you in the studio. So, you know, I guess it's time to speak on it, right?
Yes, let's speak on it. So before we talk about the Cosey Project, can you tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, so of course, my name is Kejuan Rucker, born and raised on the west side of Chicago. I am an alum for the Western Illinois University Leathernecks. Just a little bit about me, as well as being the vice president. I also have hobbies of podcasting, broadcasting, mainly for sports. I joined some TikTok lives in regards to takes on basketball, football, wrestling, whatever we want to call it. But yeah, and I'm just working to fulfill my purpose and getting itching closer and closer to that. So
yes, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kejuan. So as I mentioned, I am Sammika Cosey. I am your host. I'm a behavior analyst, and I'm also the founder of the Cosey Project. And so I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about who the Cosey Project is. So we started in 2018. Our ultimate goal was to create an organization for social change. So as a behavior analyst, I work with kids who have autism. And I noticed that there were a lot of differences with kids with autism in regards to what resources they had within their community. And so in the Chicago community, there was a lot of resources that were lacking, or resources that were there and families didn't really know too much about it. And so that's why the Cosey Project was formed. And then in 2020, we saw that there was a bigger need. And so there were a lot of kids who had trauma that they were suffering from, who had other mental health challenges with themselves or within their family dynamic. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to not just support those with autism, but also support those who were facing trauma, who were in the foster care system, and then those who were also having challenges of mental health disorders. So we wanted to just make sure we were able to help everyone. We have a lot of great programs with the Cosey Project. There is our monthly meal program, which our vice president sitting next to me, Kejuan, helped formed. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you decided to, hey, let's bring about a meal program to help feed our families?
Well, I felt like it was important just from the start. I remember one day, it was maybe like a couple days before Thanksgiving, back in, I want to say 2015, if I'm not mistaken, so almost a decade ago. I reached out to the CEO and asked her if there was an opportunity where we could go out and deliver meals to those that may not have had an opportunity to hang out with a family or even be provided a meal for that Thanksgiving weekend. So we went out, prepped some meals, put some things together, and from there the idea grew from there. And transitioning 5 years later to the upbringing of the Cosey Project, incorporating the meal delivery program was just to continue to show our face and make sure our families that we help out know that we're here to look out for them every month, check in with them, and make sure that they know about the upcoming events going on, that we keep ourselves in tune with them as well about what is going on within the family dynamic as well. But not also with our families, but also for the less fortunate, for anyone that is without a home, without a meal, a consistent meal every day. We do go out and bless the homeless as well.
Yeah, so that is something that's very important to us also, because not only do we provide meals for our families, we also do packages of meal plans for those who don't have a home, and then also providing them with essential items, so like the toiletries and things like that will be necessary for them. I would say that the meal program is probably one of my top 2 favorite programs that the Cosey Project has done, next to our toy drive.
Yes.
And so we also do a toy drive every December where we provide toys for kids that we serve and also other children within the area too. And Kejuan already mentioned, and we discussed the programs that we have with the homeless. We also do a backpack giveaway before school starts.
Yes.
Which one of them would you say is your favorite program that we're currently doing?
It's hard to pick a favorite because I love everything, every small detail, every impact that we make, no matter if it is going out to provide those necessities and meals for the homeless or giving out those toys to the kids maybe a week or 2 before Christmas. It all feels good. It's just the sole purpose of giving back to the community that we were raised in. That's just a warming feeling in my heart.
Yes, so most of our programs happen within the Austin community. Both of us were raised on the west side of Chicago, so we make it's very important for us to go back to that community to make sure that we are giving to that community, since we're both from that community too. So that has been important. And then being able to help other people and create that impact. I know sometimes we run into families where we're delivering a meal to them, and sometimes the kids, this is their first meal of that day, and we're just delivering it at 3 or 4 o'clock. And so that's what makes it very special to us at the Cosey Project. And then I know this last Christmas, the toy drive that we did, we had a parent who let us know, hey, we weren't able to buy toys for their children this year because the mother wasn't working. And being able to come into the local library and the security guard let them know, hey, they're upstairs passing out toys. And so still being able to not just give toys to the kids that we serve within the Cosey Project, and also to others, have also been very important to us too.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. So what made you decide? Like, I called you, I was like, hey, Kejuan, I'm turning the Cosey Project into a nonprofit organization. Would you be the vice president? Why did you decide to say, yes, this is a role I would like to do?
Well, it was an opportunity for me coming straight out of finishing up my bachelor's degree with Western Illinois University. Having the opportunity to, I was kind of conflicted or confused, I should say, about what's next for me.
Yes.
I didn't know where the roads would take me, but I knew, I know deep down inside that there is a purpose for us that make it out of poverty and unfortunate circumstances to give back to the community where we had those impactful moments. So that way those that are being raised within that same community, within them same situations, know that there's a generation prior to them that have also went through that impact and can give back to them and guide them down the correct pathway of going about their lives and what would be the best decisions they should make. So when you called up and you asked me about that opportunity, I just thought that, I was one step closer to fulfilling the purpose, my purpose. Awesome. So if I'm able to join, and where we've gone from the moment she called me to ask me to become this role of the vice president to where we are now, it's been a joy and a blessing, seriously.
Yes. And you said something that's very important when you discuss how you were able to go back to the community that you came from and show them, so being that model for them, because representation is key. It is very important, especially within our communities, because some people, once they get further along in life, oftentimes we don't have a lot of people who are willing or able to go back to help and to pick someone else up and make sure that they're still able to get those same resources and that assistance, and then creating that impact too.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I am so happy that you were able and willing to say you would be the vice president of the Cosey Project. Yeah. You have done an amazing job.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. It means a lot, and I hope that it's also taken a big impact on those that we have helped over the last couple of years, and that we continue to help for the near future, for sure.
Yes. Now, when we think about changing the narrative as it relates to autism, mental health, and then trauma, why is that important to you?
It's important to me because it's something that it's a topic where the light hasn't been shined on it yet. And I feel like you helped me see the light for within that circumstance. I just feel like at one point in time, I know people, maybe I've even been through it, that have dealt with mental health issues that haven't been mentally strong enough to escape to change the reality of what they're going through, and have been lost souls throughout their lifetime. And some choose not to turn back. Some don't ask for help. Some people look for help but don't get it. So the least that we could do as an organization is provide that help to let them know that we don't have to be lost souls out here. We can do this as a community. Like the old saying goes, right? It takes a village.
Yes, it
right?
does. Yes.
So if we begin to be that village that takes care of one another, it can be a domino effect where not only is it happening within, our small group of loved ones, now it's happening within the community, now it's happening within the city, now the state, now the world. So it's all about seeing that bigger picture to shine that light and change the perspective about mental health, autism, and other behavioral disorders. And
that is very big and very important to be able to change this perspective.
Yes,
because too often, especially now where we're at, so many people have placed this negative stigma on mental health, on autism, on trauma, and then on getting that assistance too. Now, when you mentioned that you faced some challenges yourself, were you able to find someone to talk to and things like that for yourself too?
I was able to find that within friends, within family, but I think the best conversation sometimes should be within yourself too, understanding where you are at that current moment in time, and what you plan to have your future look like. It was during my college period where I knew I was transitioning into the real world, no more school, finishing up my bachelor's degree. It felt like I had a mental breakdown because I didn't have an internship, I didn't have a job lined up, I didn't know what I was gonna do within the next 2 weeks before I walked across the stage. I just felt like I just broke down. But I ended up calling my mother. She spoke to me, gave me kind words, spoke to other family like my cousin, and my friends within my friend group of being there at college throughout my time period. But also just sitting down in a peaceful spot and having a conversation with myself and encouraging myself to not be afraid to take the next step. And I felt like that was a major key.
Now, a lot of people find it difficult to reach out because you mentioned that you called your mother, you called family members, and you called friends. Was that a challenge for you?
It was, to say the least, because I feel like sometimes it's tough to have those conversations, those real serious conversations with people, because some people may not understand where you're coming from. So just shining that light on what I was dealing with at the moment, I didn't want to hear criticism, negative criticism, to say the least. Constructive criticism is okay. Hearing positivity is okay, but I guess I was checking at first for that negativity to be brought to me first before anybody could tell me anything, positive.
Yes. And so that's also another big reason why we want to focus on the mental health aspect, because so many people are afraid to go and talk to other people because they are afraid of someone else's reaction. We have this negative stigma placed on going to get therapy, going to actually talk to others to get the help that we do need. And so that deters a lot of people from saying, hey, I'm facing this, I'm having these challenges. So I'm very happy that you were able to go and to find other people to talk to in your time. Thank you.
And I never really expressed that, so this is probably the first time I really spoke on it, and since it happened, right? So it's just good to say that and let people know that, if you're having that moment as well, you're not alone. You're not the only one going through it. Most of us have been through it, and most of us have made it to the other side. So if you need help, if you need people to talk to, advice, anything, you can always reach out to somebody. It feels good.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much for being open enough to share that, because I'm sure there's someone right now who is watching and listening to this and they're afraid right now. Yeah. They have so much fear. There may be another college student who is going through the exact same things that you have faced, and your story is helping them. So thank you for being able to share that.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. And so another thing with the Cosey Project, one of our biggest goals is to be able to help people to afford therapy. So we do connect them with therapists based on their insurance, or we also try to help them to locate a free therapist too. And our ultimate goal is to be able to provide that funding. And so Kejuan has been one of our go-to people. We're going to go out and collaborate with other organizations. We're going into their facilities, letting them know exactly who we are, so that way we can further the initiatives of the Cosey Project and be able to start receiving that grant money and financial support, so that way we can really create that impact that we are looking for as the Cosey Project. Yeah, so we have so many different exciting things. Where would you like to see the Cosey Project go to?
Wow, that's a great question. Of course, to heights that we haven't reached, right? Yes. But the most important thing I would say is to have that opportunity to begin to collab, adding more collaborations to our list of accomplishments, because there are other organizations out here that many of us may not know about, or many of us do know about, and it would be good to see the Cosey Project collab with some of those organizations to give back to the community, just to, you know, do something good for our city when when there's, how should I put it, there's that portrait that's being painted of our city.
Yes.
That's
that is so always negative.
Yes.
That's not a real representation of who we are.
Yes, and I think if we collab with other organizations, then we could change that narrative and paint a different portrait.
And that is very important, because so often we see on the news and media and things like that, that the negativity of Chicago, that we don't often see the organizations who are putting in the work, who do have their boots on the ground, who is out there making a difference within that community. I remember in February of this year, we were all together. We organized 5 new nonprofit organizations, and we took them to the Austin area, and we let the people know exactly who they were.
Yes.
So that way, those organizations can go out and help the families who they're supposed to go out and help.
Yes.
And we have been able to do the backpack giveaway with another nonprofit organization who just formed this year, and we passed out about 50 to 60 backpacks during that time.
Yes,
so that was amazing too. Yeah, so the Cosey Project has so many new ventures that we have going on. We're very happy to introduce the Cosey Project to you all today, and very thankful for Kejuan for coming in here, joining us, and being able to also share his story with us. Do you have any last words or anything you would like to say?
Just for any facilities, whether mental health, autistic, any facilities that would be watching this, or any representatives of those facilities, if you could please reach out to anyone within the organization. We would love to collaborate. We would love to come to your facility and, you know, have an event there, and just give back. It's very key that, you know, we make these connections around the city, from the north to the south, east to the west, even in the suburbs, if we could reach the suburbs. But that impact is so important. So if you're watching this and there's any chance that you can help us collaborate, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
And not only do we serve those in the Chicagoland area, I wanted to mention we also go as far as Naperville. Our furthest family now is in Gary, Indiana. So we are out within the community in the Chicagoland area, just providing that support to everyone who is in need too. So I'm looking forward to us continuously growing and being able to go out and change that narrative, to make sure that we provide that education, not just with the Cosey Project, but also within this show right here. Providing that education, informing everyone what autism is, what are the signs, what are the signs of mental health challenges? What are the signs to look for in trauma? Trauma is different for everyone. And so we just want to make sure that we're not passing those traumatic experiences on to the next generation also. We want to make sure that our community works together and that we are also able to heal. That's the ultimate goal. That is how we're going to change the narrative, not just for ourselves, but also for the future. So I want to thank Kejuan for joining us today. Thank you all for tuning in to listening to Let's Talk Speak on It. Change the narrative. Make sure you embrace your voice, share your story, and together we can change the narrative. Until next time, take care, keep the conversation going, and be sure to join us for our next episode. And remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. Thank you.